Lost 8 million. Now there are only 10.7 million left in Cali. I decided to use the remaining 10 million in my card to gamble on the 8 million that I had lost. Before the decisive battle, I decided to go downstairs and take a look at the scenery. Take some time to relax. Calm down. The old man walking next to me. It's old Macau. I can see him every time I come to Xinhao. His features are very obvious. Over 70 years old. Full of white hair. There is no flesh on the thin face. He was wearing a Chinese tunic suit that had been washed white. A military school bag that serves the people with just one shoulder sling. The satchel is filled with chips of various denominations. He never goes to the hall. Just kept wandering around midfield. See the way you like. He took out a chip from his bag. Press up. Regardless of whether it's pressed or not. Only one bet. Turn around and leave. Keep shopping. It is said. This old man started his business successfully in his early years. Accumulated hundreds of millions of wealth. But he suffered emotional setbacks when he was young. Never married. Huge fortune with no children. No one to inherit. Are you interested in doing some charity work? So after retirement, I liquidated all my wealth and bought a 3-bedroom apartment in Zuhaiman. Staying in Macau casinos all day. As for winning or losing after so many years? I'm afraid only he knows. The world is colorful. Everyone has his own way of life. The life of a gambler is dark. Can't see the light. 1. Lost the bet. What's more, I have to bet on endless reincarnation. The lifeless candle is gradually burned out to infinity. I have been shopping for a long time with emotion. I also got a moment of peace in my heart. Think about your situation and the upcoming war. A sacred sense of mission and responsibility struck my heart. My gambling is completely different from the gray-haired old man's gambling in nature. He is wasting his life. But I am saving lives. Because my company is waiting for my life-saving money. It was already past 12 o'clock in the morning when we returned to the room from the first floor. After washing, I lay down but couldn't fall asleep. Thinking that there will be a decisive battle tomorrow. I feel a little uneasy. 1. Of course. If lose. That would make matters worse. The company's turnaround comes at a time when it's burning money. Large sums of money are needed every day. At this time. If the funds cannot keep up. Not only is there no hope of recovery. Even the initial investment will be wasted. Think of this. I couldn't help but shudder. Tomorrow's decisive battle must be won. No matter what the price. In an instant, a sense of mission and responsibility to save the company emerged spontaneously. The fate of a company is actually destined to a gambling game. It's always been ridiculous. If you tell me, you will definitely be laughed out of your mind. But this is the real situation. That's exactly what I thought. I tossed and turned and couldn't fall asleep. This makes me very angry. I just know what a good sleep means for the upcoming decisive battle. Staring in confusion, half asleep and half awake. Was woken up by a burst of cell phone ringing. I saw that it was already past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The call is from Sister Zhao. Elder brother. Are you still in Xinhao? How are you lucky? I'm coming to see you in Macau too. I said I'm here. Come here. Then I asked him how he knew I was in Xinhao. His brother couldn't stop laughing. Said. Brother is a big celebrity. Of course I can't hide it. This Sister Zhao. I don't have a good impression of him in my heart. Not because it was my first time working with him. I lost 2 million. But he is too purposeful in doing things. And extremely shrewd behavior. But his super energy is enough to make me admire him with admiration. I quickly got out of bed. After briefly washing up, I went straight to the elevator. Go down to the first floor. After dinner at the restaurant, we went to the familiar exchange shop. I redeemed 5 million Hong Kong dollars by swiping my card. Carrying a bag full of cash. I really don't know what it feels like. This money will soon face the fate of being redistributed. Today's decisive battle. I don't plan to put it in the Liwei Hall. The place where I lost 2 games in a row. I'm afraid I don't want to see him again in this life. I went up to the second floor. Turned around and entered the Lying Club. There are no gamblers in the hall. Only one gaming table is in operation. I bought a horse from my own account at the accounting office and started walking around. There are 6 gaming tables in the hall, except the one that is under construction. The rest of the card patterns on the table show that there are 5 or 6 cards flying out. And I don't see any good way out. Since they are almost the same. Then choose a dealer you like. So I sat down at the table of a sweet-looking girl. I signaled the dealer to fly the cards. This is a gambling table with a minimum bet of 5,000 and a maximum of 1.2 million. I put all my chips into a wall along the table. The dealer is flying cards. Said while smiling. The boss is really generous. Now. His eyes were filled with envy. I said in a teasing tone. All belongings. You have to be merciful later. The boss was joking. Where can I control this? The little beauty responded cunningly. Sister Zhao's call came in. He said he arrived in Xinhao. Asked me where I am. I laughed and joked. Sister Zhao's intelligence work is still not good enough. Even I don't know about the Lying Club on the 2nd floor. The little beauty flew out of Zhuanglong and said. Zhuanglong seems a bit early. It's just a step down from the previous ranking. 3 mouths. I signaled to suspend flying cards. Pushed 500,000 at the same time. Shangzhuang is still an established routine. If you give it, I'll pay you 100,000. Just keep giving and keep adding. Until it explodes. I'm playing cards. The first one is a 7 of diamonds. The second one is a no card. This is a life and death card. I slowly raised my cards to my colleagues. Keep using force in your mouth. Repeating the word blow, 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 there were also people shouting loudly on the side. I turned around and said. I am Sister Zhao. With his men. I said hello to them. Open the cards quickly at the same time. It's really a highlight. 9 o'clock. The boss collects money. Sister Zhao's man said in a glib tone. The dealer slowly opened the idle cards. Public 9. There were boos behind me. I almost fainted. Oh shit. This is evil. I was so angry that I threw the cards aside as hard as I could. This is not a good sign. The first bet in the first game turned out to be a draw. My heart is half cold. It's normal for me to drink. Sister Zhao glanced at the wall of chips and said with a smile, Brother, aren't you ugly? You have won so much, how much is your principal? When I told him that this was just the beginning of the game. When he made his first bet, he made an exaggerated face and then continued to fly cards. Sister Zhao and his men found their own seats and sat down. Jianma's fight is not too small, so he won't say anything more. The 3 of them all fixed their eyes on the street sign and watched it carefully. Among the 3 people, I feel the most pressure inside. I have to make 8 million profits with 5 million chips. Unless God helps me find a way out, this seems to be an impossible task. Although there are 5 million as backup, it is still difficult to achieve because once the first 5 million is washed away, the remaining 5 million will basically be wasted. Under that kind of pressure, who can still be calm and calm? Unless he is possessed by the god of gamblers, or really meets a destiny. Thinking about it this way, I felt much more relieved. Why not adopt the strategy of taking small steps and running quickly, accumulating small wins into big wins? After all, using 5 million to win 100,000 is relatively reliable. Attack at different times, be neither greedy nor greedy, and use a large amount of capital to make small profits. Only in this way can it be possible to finally achieve the goal of making a profit of 8 million. The playing cards kept flying at the dealer's fingertips. They had already flown 7 or 8 times, but they did not fly out in a decent way. Sister Zhao was already a little impatient. Brother, why don't you change the table? I smiled bitterly and said, the world is as black as crows. Which mountain's tigers don't eat people? Let's wait and see. I know the purpose of Sister Zhao's visit. He just wants to earn some money for me by laundering code. He must have understood my situation very clearly. Brother, with all the overlapping numbers in his eyes, I seem to be a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Don't look at how much Sister Zhao respects me now. She wants money for money and service for service. Once I go bankrupt from gambling, he may be the first one to rush out and seal my company. He doesn't care whether he is a fellow countryman or not. The junket operator will always only have interests in his eyes. Dongzi and President Wu are examples of this. The dealer finally flew out of a 3-row row, ending with the second row, and the third row just got free. I signaled a pause and casually placed 500,000 yuan on the table. Sister Zhao and his assistant both looked at me in surprise. When the cards are revealed, first wins. Sister Zhao excitedly raised her fat hand to give me a high five. Brother, you are so awesome. According to my previous strategy, the third shot should be played sparingly or lost. The highlight is to concentrate the chips and hit the second shot violently. So I pushed 100,000 yuan for the top slot, and gave the third slot to the first slot in the fourth row, and it came as promised. At this time, I won 3 bets in a row, one for 500,000 and two for 100,000, making a total profit of nearly 700,000. Next comes the highlight of the second blow. I did not hesitate to fill up the table with 1.2 million. I have always been confident that I am good at seizing opportunities and attacking strategies, and I can take advantage of good roads when I encounter them. If you give this one, and follow the established strategy of running fast in small steps and accumulating small wins into big wins, you can call it a day. However, jealous of Inkai, the main event ended miserably. The hateful little beauty killed me with her slender hands. The situation reversed in an instant. Originally a small win of 700,000, but now a loss of 500,000. Sister Zhao and his assistant were completely silent at this time. I was also stunned by the instant reversal. It's time to change the channel.